The Rick and Shauna Show, baby. Oh yeah. Smart moves, smart doors. That's the way to go. For every rental dream, they help the numbers flow. Before you buy, after you close, they help you know. Welcome to the Rick and Shauna Show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rick and Shauna Show, Property Management Unfiltered. This is going to be a quick one. We had a podcast on Section 8 yesterday, and we already received a couple questions.
Right, some things we didn't go over.
Yeah, that we didn't go over. So we thought we'd get on, give a real quick response to those.
Right.
They were good questions too.
I think so too.
So what was our first question?
The first one was, can we negotiate rents with the housing authorities?
Yes.
Quick
Yes.
answer, no.
No.
They do not negotiate. They have their specific formula and whatever it is that they use, and they come to this number by, using that formula, and there has never been a negotiation ever.
Yeah, and it comes up quite a bit. Can we negotiate? Can we, question that? And you, to Shauna's point, you just can't.
Right.
So whatever that is, if you decide that it's, you're either going to accept it
Or you're not.
or you're going to move on.
That's right. And we went over in yesterday's podcast what happens if you decide not to take it and what happens if you do.
Yep.
So.
And I think the second question was the voucher bedroom count.
We get this a lot from tenants.
Yes.
I have a 2-bedroom voucher, but the housing authority told me that I could find a 3-bedroom house. And for us, now I can't say it's true for everyone, but I would think across the board that your voucher size has to match your bedroom size.
Yeah, and the challenge comes up there that sometimes if the rental price is low enough, a smaller bedroom count on the voucher could potentially
every once in a while.
Yeah, it could potentially work, but we pretty much are in the habit of stating that they have to match.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever your voucher says, that's what it has to match up with the bedroom account, because too many times there could be a lot of time spent on trying to figure this out, and then to go through all the process that we went through yesterday when we talked about what is involved in this, just to find out that it's not going to make sense. The money won't make sense.
That's right.
And there could be a lot of wasted time on that.
Yeah, so what happens when, a person has, say, a 2-bedroom voucher and they would like to have a 3-bedroom, and we actually fill out the RTA for that. The housing authority will use the formula that they have, or the payment standards for the 3-bedroom house. They don't use the 2-bedroom because, of course, that they don't match.
Right.
So that's why it's important also, is because the payment standards are obviously higher amounts for a 3-bedroom, and they're using those, whereas the person only has a 2-bedroom voucher. So more money, is coming off for those utilities than really necessary because they only have a 2-bedroom voucher. And I hope that makes sense. But
yeah, you're basically starting at a lower mark right out the gate, which means the odds of it getting close to the rent amount that you're requesting is pretty slim.
Yeah, so they're using the voucher size and they're using that payment standard, but they're using the property size for the formulas that they have.
Yes. So did we have anything else?
We did. We had one more question about rent increases, like the timelines, or how do you go about doing that? So I can speak to this because I do these as well, and I know you've done a couple. So this whole time, if you watched yesterday's podcast, Stark County has been one of the easiest ones to work with, one of the fastest and most efficient housing authorities. In this case, theirs is actually flip-flop. Their process is a little bit harder and a little bit stricter. So Stark County, which covers like Canton, Massillon, their process is that it has the request has to be in 120 days before their annual recertification date. So the tenants go through an annual review, so to speak, to see where they are income-wise and to make sure that they're still eligible and all that. So 120 days ahead of time is when you, as an owner or property manager, has to make sure that you get the rent increase request in by.
So that's the window.
That's the window.
So if you miss the
120
window-
before or more. If you miss it, they won't do it.
Okay.
And you wait a whole nother year.
Yeah, so it's important.
It is, because, I mean, waiting a whole nother year, especially when you're banking on that, is hard. And if you don't know that, that window, or you miss that window, you're out of luck.
Right.
So, and then in Summit County and Cuyahoga County as well, those two are the same. And it's as obviously, as long as the tenant has fulfilled their 12-month initial lease, anytime, it can take effect anytime from the end of the lease and on, and you need to do a 60-day.
Right. So there's no so once they go to that, because in case everybody doesn't understand, once a lease is up, it automatically reverts or goes into a month-to-month lease.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that states that right in our lease. So once that happens, then anytime after that point,
Yep.
they're good.
Yeah, and so if your lease expires July 31st, you can do it 60 days ahead of time. It just doesn't take effect until August 1st. As long as it lines up, you're good. So you can still get ahead of it a little bit, but it doesn't have to be. You can do it at any given point. It just takes 60 days.
Yeah, as long as it's past that mark.
As long as it's going to
Yeah.
occur past that mark, yes.
Yeah.
And it's calendar days. So if you're doing it, say, today, which is August 7th, it's actually not going to take effect until November 1st. So it could feel like it's longer than 60 days because you're into another month already. So, I think that's it. We just wanted to hop on really quick and kind of, make sure we answered those questions. We appreciate the questions. We love getting those. So if you guys have any more, feel free to leave the questions below, or get in touch with us if you know us and you have, the way to get in touch with us through our cell phones. And also you can visit us on our Facebook page. That's the Rick and Shauna team. Ask the questions there. We look at that often.
Yeah, so we'll always try to, on those type of episodes where there could be a lot of questions, we'll try to jump back on pretty quickly within a day or so, because you may be looking for that answer, trying to make some decisions.
Right, pretty quickly, yeah.
So.
And I think that's it. So we appreciate you guys coming back. Be sure to follow us, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.